Hi Leo, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your November 2021 love reading. Thank you to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the bridge and the gap spread. And the way it works is we'll look at the past energies, present energies, and future energies between you and your main love interest. Once we get through all those, we actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot. On the right side we have the Tarot Sexual Magic. Also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as the energy and the cards on the right as the other person. So if you feel like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely address that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have Sacrifice. So this is actually the equivalent of the Hanged Man in traditional tarot. And primarily what I'm getting with this, I feel like this is saying that this connection might have come along in the past, but you weren't necessarily ready for that in your lives. I feel like you might have had other goals in mind that might have pulled you away from the connection. For the majority of you, I feel like they might have been more of career-related stuff. But yeah, it definitely looks like in the past, you might have walked away from the connection to pursue other things. I don't necessarily feel like it was another connection, but like I said, some other career goal or whatever the case may be. All right, past energy on their side, we have Judgment. So usually I view this as Scorpio energy, but more than anything, I view this as this is a person you most likely had a history with, and maybe were already with them at some point in the past. And this, to me, shows that they might have come back around. So could be as simple as saying that the Mercury retrograde we just went through, they might have come back around during that time. But yeah, looks like they came back around. For some of you, this might be someone you had a child with, or that might have been for some of you what caused the split. Maybe they wanted to have a more traditional family, whereas you felt like you had more career-oriented goals and you didn't feel like the timing was right, something along those lines. But either way, it looks like there was something that brought the two of you back together in the past. All right. Present energy on your side, we have the Queen of Cups. So this is actually Cancer energy here, which for you guys is your 12th house. So I feel like this is saying that you might still think about them quite a bit in the back of your minds. And for some of you, it could even just be saying that you're more open to the idea of connecting with them now. And I do have to say, since Cancer energy usually represents the mother, could even be saying that now you might be more open to the idea of children if that was what broke you guys up in the past. But yeah, we do see her leaning in. But I also would say because that for you guys, Cancer house energy is 12th house energy, and in traditional tarot, we see that that cup is closed off. I feel like you're not necessarily communicating it to this person, but at the very least, it does look like you're more open to them at this time. All right, present energy on their side, we have the Six of Wands, which is Leo energy, and the High Priestess. So a lot of times I also view this as Pisces energy too. So between the two of you, we're seeing some 12th house type energy, but what I'm seeing with this primarily could just be saying that they might actually be experiencing some success in their own lives now, and you may actually be observing that too. So for some of you, that might be what drew your attention back toward them. But also, I feel like this is saying with that High Priestess energy that they're keeping to themselves at the same time. So as far as communicating with you, I don't necessarily feel like they would initiate any conversation. And for some of you, this could also be saying that they might know that your attention is drawn back to them, even if they're not acknowledging that. Could be as simple as, since it is High Priestess energy, maybe they're very intuitive as well, or possibly they've even gotten a tarot reading about you or something along those lines. But yeah, it definitely looks like they're holding some information there. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. Like I said, it looks like they're experiencing some level of success. Maybe they're just more confident now, if nothing else, than they were in the past. But at the same time, they're holding back as far as communicating. All right. Future energy on your side, we have the Nine of Arrows. So this is Gemini energy here. Usually represents a lot of overthinking, anxiety, losing sleep, right? The artwork more or less speaks to those themes right there. And with this, I feel like this is, again, like I said, feeling like you might have walked away from this connection in the past. In the present, you're more open to it for whatever reason, right? And now in the future, you might be being nudged from the universe even, right? Because we see like that angelic figure in the background, and they're trying to pass the arrow, which would represent communication. And I feel like you might be getting signs, synchronicities. Maybe when you do sleep, you dream about this person, or you might get signs through that, possibly through music, to reach out to this person. But for whatever reason, you feel really reluctant to do so. For some of you, you could even be having your friends telling you, yeah, you should totally reach out to them, but it looks like you're totally just not ready to do that for whatever reason. All right. And future energy on their side, we have the Ace of Wands. So to me, this represents a passionate energy and could just be saying, of course, with the ace, I usually say that they're more of an idea phase as opposed to taking action. So could just be as simple as saying that they're open to the idea as well of reconnecting. But again, with the ace energy, I feel like they're waiting on you to actually come forward with that. And I mean, to be fair, if you guys were the ones who walked away in the past, I could totally see why they would have that approach, right? Like, okay, well, I tried to get things off the ground with Leo in the past. They blew me off for whatever reason. So now the ball's in their court, right? So it could be one of those energies there, but that's what I'm seeing with that. All right, bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Eight of Arrows. So again, similar energy to what we talked about with the Nine of Arrows, just feeling like you can't move forward, right? A lot of thoughts on your mind, not feeling comfortable coming forward and communicating. Um, I will say the North Node is wrapping up its transit through Gemini, and then we're going to have a full moon in Gemini in December. So maybe that might help clear that energy out for you guys if you feel like you're not getting through it in November. And the bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Six of Chalices. So Six of Cups energy here. Could just be saying that they're feeling nostalgic. But again, what stands out to me is we see the back turn to the cards on the side, and it looks like she's looking at an old painting or a photo of some kind, right? So I feel like this is saying that they might be reminiscing about times with you as well. But again, I don't see that they're necessarily feeling an urge to reach out. I feel like they would be waiting for you to do that, if anything. All right, so we'll move on to the Oracle cards now and see what we get from that. First, we'll see if we get anything from Aqua Moonlight deck. I did pre-shuffle this deck, and I'm going to be looking for jumpers first, as far as unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. But if I shuffle for a while without anything coming up, I'll just put the deck down and we'll pull a card. All right, so let's see if we get anything. All right, that doesn't want to go back in the deck. Put it on your side. And next we'll see if we get any from them to you now. Okay, got one there. So let's see what we got on your side first. Okay, we have Ghost. It says I won't stay for long, I'm sorry. So, excuse me, won't stay for very long, I'm sorry. But yeah, at the very least, that could have been your energy in the past. I can see that part of the energy there. As far as moving on into the future, it doesn't even look like you're really feeling that urge to come forward and communicate at all. So I don't know. For me, I'm feeling like this is more of the past energy that you might have been in. Like I said, possibly because you had other goals in mind and could have been a bad timing situation. And on their side, we have absence. It says as more time passes by, I feel a deeper void without you in my life. So interesting. In a way, I could also see that resonating somewhat on your side too. But yeah, I mean, I do get it where, like I said, it looks like they are a bit more open to the idea of being with you. But again, I still don't necessarily feel like they're going to be the ones to reach out. So hopefully that resonated with you though. And lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. I might pre-shuffle this deck as well, but here we're just looking for one card with general advice, and then we'll wrap up. Oh, got one. All right, yep, fitting. You guys got Unfinished Symphony. There's the artwork, and the number is 10. So yeah, if nothing else, this could even just point to closure, even if you guys don't get back together. But let's see what it says. It says unfinished business, an incomplete lesson, lack of closure, the need to make amends. The Oracle's message. This is a time to tie up loose ends as you near the completion of a cycle or project and mastery of a lesson or skill. Before you can move forward, it's important that you come to terms with where you are now. Practice radical acceptance. Take inventory so that emotional and psychological closure can occur and answers you seek will be found. You can't move forward if you are leaving things unfinished. Reflect on what has passed so that the symphony can finally end on a high note. So reading that message was interesting because it does tie in. Obviously, this is a love reading, but if you remember, I mentioned the career thing that might have pulled you away in the past. And that message there kind of tied some of that in for me where I realized that this month, well, November, I should say, there's going to be a full moon eclipse in Taurus, which is your 10th house of career. So that could be partially why you guys would be more open too. Maybe whatever this career goal is that you guys had, you might be wrapping it up in November, and now you're like, okay, I could actually put some energy toward this connection. So hoping it resonated with you guys. The relationship message says moving on is difficult when love lingers, things are left unsaid, and you haven't had the opportunity for closure in your relationship and in your heart. You can still feel bound up in relationships when closure is denied you. It's important to achieve this for yourself. Write that letter, make that call, or have that conversation over a cup of coffee. For peace of mind, accept matters as they are, make amends if need be, and declare your feelings, even if only to yourself. Be clear about what was left unresolved, and close the door on the past so you can set yourself free. Only then can new love blossom. Yeah, so that definitely seems to align with what we were talking about with the Eight of Arrows and Nine of Arrows energy. Like I said, with the Six of Cups, it looks like they're definitely also reflecting back on the past. But hopefully, it resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.